Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Raina, and today we're going to be talking about ADA rights for autistic teens and how reasonable accommodations can help support success in the work environment. So, we know that the workplace can feel confusing or intimidating for parents and teens, especially when it comes to disability rights and legal rights. You and your teen do not need to be experts in the law to benefit from the ADA, and your teen with autism just needs to know a few simple things about how to exercise their rights. Today we're going to be focusing on what the ADA is and what reasonable accommodations truly mean, how accommodations can support autistic teens at work, and how to identify the right accommodations for your teen. We're also going to talk briefly about how OTs, or occupational therapists, can help prepare your teen to self-advocate for legally protected rights. This is really important to us because we know that knowing your workplace rights can reduce stress, increase confidence, and it allows autistic teens to participate in employment with the tools they need to succeed. Before we jump into it, a little bit about us. We are Autism Services for Teens and Young Adults. We are licensed occupational therapists, or OTs, with expertise in workplace readiness, neurodevelopment, and disability supports. We have many years helping autistic teens build skills, self-advocacy, and independence. So let's just do a quick explanation of the ADA and reasonable accommodations. The ADA is the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's a civil rights law that protects individuals with disabilities from discrimination at work, school, and in public settings. A reasonable accommodation is a change to the way a job is done or the environment in which it is done that allows a person with a disability to perform essential job functions. Now, accommodations must be reasonable, meaning they don't cause significant difficulty or expense for the employer. So some key things for parents to know: your teen does have rights under the ADA, but your teen must exercise those rights to be able to benefit them. That means that employers cannot guess what your teen needs to succeed in the workplace, and they're not obligated to offer accommodations or predict reasonable accommodations for your teen. You or your teen will have to advocate for those accommodations. Accommodations work best when your teen understands their own strengths, challenges, and support tools and is able to advocate for themselves for those things. The purpose of accommodations are to reduce barriers in the workplace, support performance, increase independence, and create a fair playing field. We do not think of this as special treatment. It's just providing access to every employee to make sure that each member of the team can work at their best. So, what can reasonable accommodations do for your teen? Accommodations can support executive functioning challenges such as planning, sequencing, and task initiation, starting a task. Can also support sensory needs, like if your teen is very noise sensitive, light sensitive, or needs a lot of movement breaks. And accommodations also cover communication differences. Additionally, they might cover emotional regulation needs, stress tolerance, social expectations, and workplace pacing. So some of the benefits of getting accommodations are that you can provide an employee with more predictable tasks, clearer communication, reducing overwhelm and improving their confidence, and providing a little bit more stability in the job environment. You can also through accommodations, help employees match strengths and the environment. Workplaces become safer, calmer, and more accessible places when the right accommodations are in place. So, how do you identify the right reasonable accommodations? As a parent, you can start by observing your teen. What tasks cause frustration or shutdown? What sensory environments lead to overload? What executive function steps can you break down and make into smaller tasks? And what routines really help support their success? Then, once you've identified the answers to those questions, you can match their needs to specific accommodation types. Some examples will go through some bigger categories. One big category is job structure. So these can include things like written instructions instead of verbal instructions, allowing some extra time to process and respond, providing checklists. Some employers also like to schedule regular check-ins with their employees. Things about how to make the day-to-day a little bit easier. Additionally, job structure accommodations can include adjusting scheduling or doing shorter shifts, using timers before transition periods. Things like that could be great for teens who have difficulty with some of those job structure things. Next big category is environmental accommodations. These accommodations can include things like noise-canceling headphones, providing a quiet workspace, adjusted lighting or seating, access to a break space where someone can have a movement break, or permission to step away briefly for regulation breaks. How will you know what accommodations are right for your teen? It's important to consider what helps your teen succeed at home or in school. Just take what you already know about them. And then you can also test accommodations in low-stress environments before you ask for them in the workplace or before your teen asks for them. Aim for simple, practical supports your teen can learn to use independently. Practice asking for them with your teen, and how to approach a supervisor with that need. And review the accommodations with your teen regularly. Needs change as skills grow and as job demands change. See what's working, what's not, and what they might still need. So, how can OTs or occupational therapists help? Occupational therapists can play a key role in employment readiness. We can assess executive functioning, sensory needs, and communication challenges. We can help identify which accommodations match your teen's strengths and challenges. We can also teach your teen how to use accommodations, not just have them on paper. And we can help them practice self-advocacy scripts, such as educating your teen on how to request a reasonable accommodation and who to ask, like a direct supervisor or HR, depending on the job. We can determine with them how much they would like to disclose. And just a note here, your teen does not need a doctor's note or to disclose the diagnosis to request a reasonable accommodation. OTs can also support emotional regulation and coping strategies for workplace stress, and they can help collaborate with employers or job coaches when appropriate. OTs can help ensure accommodations are effective. The accommodations are actually helping your teen succeed in their role. So, to wrap up, reasonable accommodations are powerful tools for workplace success. They're not something extra or, they're not providing a handout, but it's something essential that your teen needs to do their job. When teens learn to use their rights early, they can feel more confident stepping into full-time work environments later on. With your teen, please explore accommodations long before their first job interview. You can visit the Job Accommodation Network. This is a great website for accommodation ideas, and they also have a hotline that you can contact somebody. You can also contact one of us and visit our website for more information. Just keep in mind that the right tools and support can help your teen thrive in employment and build meaningful independence in their workplace. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.